What is crystal made up of? Crystal made up of lattice plus basis. What is lattice? Lattice is arrangement of repeating points in the space, and basis is the atom or group of atoms attached to each lattice point. And what is unit cell? Unit cell is smallest block which when it repeated in the space and builds the whole crystal structure. And there are two types of unit cell. One is primitive unit cell, another conventional unit cell. In primitive unit cell, it is the smallest possible unit cell which has minimum area and volume. And primitive cell always have exactly one lattice point, but the number of atoms is depend on the basis. And for example, to calculate atoms in the primitive cell, you should multiply lattice point in the primitive cell into atoms in the basis. But lattice point in the primitive cell is always 1, and into you have to multiply atoms in the basis. For example, if there is a simple cubic primitive unit cell which is shared by 1 by 4 at each corner, multiply 4, you will get a 1 atom. But if you see diamond structure, diamond primitive unit cell, you can get 2 atoms. So there is a no rule that primitive unit shall have exactly 1 atom. It can have more than 1 atom. And other 3 structures are simple cubic, body center cubic, and base center cubic. Where simple cubic is 1 atom at each corner, and body center cubic has 1 extra atom in the center, and base center cubic has 1 extra atom at each bases. And what are conventional unit cells? Conventional unit cells are the unit cells we can choose convenient to as per our symmetry or as per our need. So we can choose whatever basis and whatever the structure we want. To calculate the area, we know that if we have 2 vectors, take a vector product of the A and B vectors, then we'll get the area of the unit cell. And if you want to calculate the volume of the crystal in the unit cell, then we have to take a dot for A dot and B vector product of B and C, then we'll get the volume. What is atomic density? Atomic density is the number of atoms of per metal per unit volume. These are the basic concept for the crystal structure.